Chloe Bibby has been signed by the Fever, and this has been a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, really physical team, tough, fast pace, and I like that fast, style. So I think that suits me a lot.
Doesn't seem that way by the player they just signed, and the messaging that is going across there. So that has to be reassuring for a lot of the fans, and Chloe Bibby seems to have a good head on her shoulders.
While Clark was dealing with a nagging injury that had Fever fans holding their breath, the front office was working behind the scenes on a game-changing acquisition. They reached halfway across the world to China, where Australian forward Chloe Bibby was grinding it out in the international leagues and offered her something incredible, a chance to join Clark's Fever and help chase a championship.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm really excited. I had some stint there at Golden State, and it was a great time. So yeah, whenever I was playing with Australia, I won a gold there, and that was great. So just to be back in the W and have another crack is really exciting. Really grateful for this opportunity here with the Fever, and just excited.
This Chloe Bibby signing is the most insulting, panic-driven, absolutely ridiculous move this franchise has made in years. And let me tell you exactly why. Every single Fever fan should be furious about this desperate attempt to fix something that was never broken. However, the coach Stephanie White says,
I mean, it's a challenge always, anytime you're integrating, but I think it's a position that she'll play for us. Really being somebody that's in that stretch four, middle of the floor, there's not a lot of nuance to how we'll use her. We'll shorten the playbook a little bit, make it specific to ways that we can continue to stretch the floor when we put her on the floor with AB.
We just watched this generational talent drag this franchise kicking and screaming into relevance for the first time in 8 years. 8 years! Clark took a lottery team and turned them into playoff contenders while breaking every rookie record in the book. She's averaging 19.2 points and 8.4 assists per game as a rookie, and now the front office thinks we need some random Australian who's been playing in China to help her.
Caitlin Clark hype is real, the effect is real, and by the looks of things, by ratings, collectibles, cards, it is not going away anytime soon.
The audacity is breathtaking. Clark is already the most electrifying player in women's basketball history. She's selling out arenas, breaking television records, and making the impossible look routine every single night. What exactly does Chloe Bibby bring that Clark doesn't already provide tenfold?
I just don't. I don't see her as this game-changing player. I don't see her as a major player in the rotation. They signed her to a 7-day contract. It's not a hardship.
Instead of trusting the system Clark has been building all season, instead of believing in the chemistry she's developed with Boston and Mitchell, they're throwing money at some overseas player who hasn't played meaningful basketball in this league.
Goes on to say the Indiana Fever signed Australian forward Chloe Bibby to a 7-day contract, the team announced today.
7 days. 7 days is what they're giving this experiment. You know what that tells me? Even they don't believe this move makes sense. This isn't roster building, this is covering their own backsides because they're terrified of what happens if Clark misses time. The Indiana Fever don't need fixing. They need patience. They need trust in the process Clark has been building. They need to stop panicking every time she gets a hangnail and start believing in what they already have. Because what they have is the most dynamic, game-changing, franchise-altering player in WNBA history. And if that's not enough for you, then maybe you don't deserve Caitlin Clark at all. But it is also a fact that this isn't just any signing. This is the reunion of two college warriors who used to battle each other in the Big Ten, now united for one mission, bringing a WNBA title to Indianapolis. The woman who once tried to stop Clark's Iowa Magic is now here to help create it, and the basketball world is about to witness something special.
Because this is a team that has been in dire need of, in my opinion, of a stretch four. And that is what Bibby, skill set wise, is capable of doing.
Watch any Fever game and you'll see the problem. Defenses collapse on Boston in the paint, then scramble to contain Clark's drives. What they needed was someone who could punish those defensive schemes by draining threes from the corners and wings. Someone who could make opponents pay for leaving them open. That's where Chloe Bibby comes in. While American fans were focused on the WNBA, she was quietly dominating overseas. In Poland's top professional league, she wasn't just playing, she was absolutely unstoppable. Named the league's most valuable player, Bibby averaged a staggering 20.9 points and 5.9 rebounds per game for Gornik Walbrick. These aren't just solid numbers, they're superstar statistics that prove she can carry a team on her back. When she stepped up to compete in the prestigious Euro Cup against Europe's elite, her dominance only intensified. 22 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 2.2 steals per contest. Every night, she was the focal point of the offense, the player opponents game planned around, the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah, I think just as long as I bring some energy and fast pace, everything, and just try and find my shots within the offense and just getting to know the girls and chemistry and stuff. It takes time, but to try and build that quickly, and everyone's been really good so far.
But perhaps most impressively, Bibby's been a cornerstone of the Australian national team, the Opals, for years. She's competed on the world's biggest stages with championship gold hanging in the balance. She helped Australia capture gold at the FIBA Women's Asia Cup and bronze at the FIBA World Cup. This isn't just about individual success, it's about knowing how to win when everything is on the line. But here's where this story gets controversial. Just weeks before that life-changing phone call, Chloe Bibby completely embarrassed the Indiana Fever on their own court, playing for the Golden State Valkyries. She stepped into Gainbridge Fieldhouse and did something that should have terrified Fever fans. She showed them exactly what they were missing.
The Valkyries' way. Foul is erased from Van Loo. It's Golden State's ball. And Bibby makes the Mercury pay.
In just 24 minutes, Bibby torched Clark's team for 12 points while shooting an otherworldly 42.1% from three-point range. But here's the part that stings. Every shot she made exposed a glaring weakness in the Fever's defensive scheme. Every three-pointer she drained highlighted the exact skill set missing from their own roster.
Last time we saw Chloe Bibby, she dropped 12 points against the Indiana Fever.
Think about it. An opponent just walked in your house and demonstrated the solution to your biggest problem right in front of your eyes. It was humiliating and brilliant at the same time. The Fever front office was watching the team get picked apart by the very player they should have signed months earlier.
She was shooting that thing, man. She was stretching the floor, and the Indiana Fever needs that. They need somebody that can help stretch that floor, make it more dangerous at that perimeter.
Now here's where Fever fans are divided, and the basketball world is asking the tough questions. Is signing Chloe Bibby a stroke of genius, or is it a desperate move that exposes deeper problems with this organization? On one hand, it's brilliant. They identified their weakness, found the perfect solution, and acted decisively. Bibby brings elite shooting, championship experience, and a fearless mentality that could unlock the Fever's full potential. She's exactly what Caitlin Clark needs to maximize her impact.
While Brianna Turner is over there collecting dust, we need somebody off the bench that can come in with some size and rain threes until Damaris Dantis' shot begins to fall and we go out and we get one. Chloe Bibby.
But critics are asking the uncomfortable questions. Why did they sign her months ago when she was available? Why did it take getting embarrassed by her on their own court to realize what they needed? And most controversially, what does this say about the players already on the roster? Brianna Turner, a former All-Star, has been collecting dust on the bench while the Fever struggled with spacing issues. Fans are furious, asking why the organization is bringing in an outsider instead of developing the talent they already have. Some are calling it a betrayal of loyalty. Others are calling it smart business.
And look, it could be another Bree Turner type situation. It's just there is a lack of athleticism there. But she shoots.
The truth is probably somewhere in between, but the timing makes this move feel reactive rather than proactive. It's like they needed to get beaten by Bibby to finally understand what everyone else could already see. Before they were teammates, before they were united by championship dreams, Caitlin Clark and Chloe Bibby were fierce enemies on the basketball court. Picture this, Iowa's Carver Hawkeye Arena, 15,000 screaming fans, and two of the Big Ten's brightest stars going head-to-head in a game that could decide conference seeding. Clark, the Iowa Golden Girl, was already becoming a household name with her deep threes and no-look passes. Bibby, Maryland's Australian import, was the player tasked with stopping her. These weren't casual regular season matchups. They were wars. Every possession mattered, every shot was contested, and both players brought their absolute best. What made their rivalry so compelling was the mutual respect mixed with fierce competition. Bibby never backed down from the challenge of facing one of college basketball's biggest stars. She matched Clark's intensity shot for shot, play for play. When Clark would drain a logo three, Bibby would answer with a clutch basket of her own. When Iowa went on runs, Maryland leaned on Bibby to respond. Now, that competitive fire that once drove them to battle each other is focused on a common enemy: every other team in the WNBA.
You have an any familiarity with any of the players?
I think I've honestly played against everybody. I haven't played with anybody, but I think with a college, professional, something, there's some sort of tie nearly with everybody on the team, so that's good.
The chemistry between former rivals can be explosive. They already know each other's games at an intimate level. They've tested each other under pressure, and they have that competitive edge that championship teams need. But here's what has Fever fans on edge. This signing comes with massive risks that could blow up in their faces. Bibby is joining the team on a 7-day hardship contract, which means she could be gone before fans even learn how to pronounce her name correctly. That's not exactly the stability a championship team needs. Even worse, she's coming in with zero chemistry with Clark and Boston. Championship teams are built on trust and timing that takes months to develop. Throwing a new player into crucial games while Clark is dealing with injury concerns, that's a recipe for disaster. Think about it from Clark's perspective. She's built this team culture, established these relationships, and now suddenly there's a new player who doesn't owe anyone anything and has already proven she can score against this exact system. That could create the kind of competitive fire that elevates everyone, or it could create tension that destroys team chemistry. The next few weeks will determine everything, but the Fever just made sure that whatever happens, it's going to be absolutely explosive to watch.